Alrighty, welcome back, my chips and dip, to another episode of Quake 1 on the PC. We're continuing our axe clear challenge, no weapons or guns fired, no guns fired, I meant to say. And we approach the Necropolis level of the third map of episode 1. Now, a lot of the strategies I went over the first time I did this, with the last video, with Castle of the Damned and Termination Central, we're going to be doing pretty much the same thing. We're going to go through and try to utilize as much of those strategies as we can. So, one of the strategies I mentioned earlier was to encourage infighting amongst the monsters, because if you do, that really does a lot of the hardcore work for you, and it makes it a lot easier to get around if you can get infighting between enemies. So I'm going to try that right here. Ooh, and I think it just worked, so there we have it. See, if you can really distract the enemies, they buy you time to go fetch out secrets, or to proceed onward into the course that you need to go. The levels are pretty linear, so if you can get the infighting going between enemies, that's probably one of the best strategies I can think of. Especially if you've got something like a Shambler, or an Ogre, or a, what do they call those things? A Fiend. If you can get infighting between any one of those enemies, it really helps, because those are the tough guys, those are the beefy enemies. Infighting really helps when it comes to the beefy enemies. So you see that Fiend is still going at those zombies there. And now he's going to go at that Ogre. And once he takes out that Ogre, that'll make this so much easier. So much easier. Again, I really encourage that strategy of infighting. It makes it so... Oh man, he lost. Okay, so the Fiend just lost there. Now we've got this fucking Ogre here. But I think if we can get him to fight with the zombies, they'll take care of him. And I think they do, actually, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% sure. But, yeah, I always like to see infighting. Also, it's kind of good eye candy, too, just to watch the enemies kind of duke it out. Oh, and I think that Ogre just lost back there. Yeah, so I think he lost to the zombie. I'm just going to sort of swing my axe here a little bit. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. That Ogre is taking on that zombie down there. That fucking Ogre in the bars is firing his grenades non-stop. I always wondered, do they just have an infinite stash of grenades on their arsenals or what? Because they never run out. I swear. Okay, so looks like the zombie just took out that Ogre, or somebody took it out. Alright. Get infighting. It looks like some infighting has happened between that Ogre and that zombie, which is good. That'll be a distraction. Now this is kind of where the tough part gets... It kind of gets tough on these levels once you cross over to the dimension, because the spaces are somewhat tighter and harder to maneuver around. But, let's see what we've got over here. There's a secret. Got some health there. Alright. Now there should be, if I go up that little lever over there to the left, some armor. Also, if you find secrets with armor, big help. Armor. Also, always look for armor. If you find armor, that is also another savior, because that'll help absorb a lot of the damage you're going to take on this mode, especially if you're playing on Nightmare, too, where the enemies are a lot more aggressive. If you find armor, like right here, it makes it so much easier. And a lot less stressful, and a lot less of a headache, too, because when those enemies pile up on you, which they do, they will gang up on you. Like, you'll see in a minute when I cross over to this next part. I think this next section of this map is probably the hardest section. Or, if not the hardest, the second hardest. See, there's that Shambler right there, and the armor helps to absorb a lot of that lightning damage. So, got that. They also help absorb some of the grenade damage from the Ogres. So it's good to have that armor there if you find it around. And some of the secrets, if you're fortunate enough, they'll have those armors. So, get these guys out of the way. Alright, let's get through here. Knock that guy out of the way. Alright, run through here. Let's see here. There's an Ogre. There's some health. Alright. We're looking good. We're looking good. See, look, I just took, I don't know how much damage from all those zombies. Right here, I'm going to take a lot from the Ogres. See, there's the Fiend there. Some more health. Go in here. Hit that switch. Oh, so, yeah, I utilized pretty much every strategy I did in the first playthrough, but I'd say in this one I kind of did it better, surprisingly. And, I will say I think this map was harder than the first two. So, alright. Go through here. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is my playthrough. Axe clear, nightmare, no guns fired. This is Raving Libertopian signing off. Have a good one.